Hey, Bliss Family. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is doing good. It's a Saturday today, and we are officially left with one day, which is like basically tomorrow. Then we are going back to work. That is the first thing that has been on my mind. And on today's video, there is nothing serious. I just want to speak. I just want to talk to you guys and let's have a chat, So if you're not doing anything, let's sit down. If you are doing something, can I please join you? If you are cleaning, let me join you. You listen to me and you get to do whatever that you are doing. So yeah, firstly, I would like to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Utando Lodwa. And although Ndinovalo, I did say that on my recent post to say that I'm really scared. Like the growth is moving and I'm just like, am I ready for it? And I guess you are never ready. I just need to see and continue with my content. Also hoping that you guys get to understand that I'm not a financial advisor. Each and everything that I get to speak about, it's based on my own experiences and I want to share that journey, and then it's up to you if you are going to use it or you're not going to use it. You will learn something from me or you not learn something from me. Also, like today where I'm just saying, I'm just talking to you, maybe you'd find that maybe you do have a solution to things that I'll just be blabbing about, and that's okay for you to also advise me because we are all just learning. And yeah, so that is just a disclaimer for my page. And then another thing that I've been doing, or rather I've been refraining from saying, so when someone would say I'm a new Sabi, there's a part of me that wanted to say welcome to the Bliss family. So I felt like people would be like, did I just sign up to a cult now? Like, what's happening? What is this Bliss family? And I was just like, okay, let me just refrain from saying that until I explain it. So Bliss family, it's just me refraining from saying hey guys, or me saying hey Chomi. I'm not good with that. Hey Chomi. What else do they say? Yeah, there's this one that DJs in the uses, and it's so nice. I mean, it's all up to a person. So for me, when I started my page on TikTok, I was just like, I'm gonna go with Bliss family. Obviously, coming, or rather using the word bliss, which for me it stands for happiness. Everything that is blissful is beautiful. I'm just imagining pink, I'm imagining yellow, I'm imagining anything that is beautiful, anything that is pretty. And I'm so sorry if we have some gents here. You are pretty, guys. You are pretty. No more only daughter, even if you're a man, you are pretty. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself that I'm pretty. I'm joking. So yeah, as a girly, it came from that, and I was just like, you know what, I'm sticking to Bliss family. And another reason was that I don't want any negativity on my page. So if you are someone that happiness is just I don't know, it doesn't stick on you, you're someone who's always negative, then this page is not for you, because here we are, we're sharing our experiences, and most especially about money. Money is something that is complex, so I don't want people judging other people or being mean just based on whatever that person is sharing. On TikTok you find that someone can say that I'm paying Mashonisa, I'm paying this, I'm paying that. And then if you're someone who's very judgy, or someone who just thinks, who just talks without thinking, and then you're hurting another person, it's just like, everything that you're gonna say is negative. So nope, not on this page. Here we are bliss, we are very happy, and we are a bliss family. So yeah, so now when I start commenting and say welcome to the Bliss family, please don't think that just sign up to a cult that I have. So yeah, that is one thing that I wanted to share. And then another one, I wanted to plug you guys on my two products that I use very much. This one, the Mighty Patch, I started using this last month, and I have to say I have to say it's a game changer. This thing, like, it removes a pimple from the roots, if I can put it that way. And then, yeah, like, I love it. I got it from Clicks, and yeah, you can check it out if you're someone who, you know, here and now you get pimples or whatnot, so you can check it out. And then also I did speak about this. It's the glycolic bright. It removes dark spots, and I am a lover of this babe. And as you can see now, I even like got myself a big bottle. Oh, the sun is just yeah, but I'll just attach a picture of these two. But I am in love. I am in love. Love is even an understatement for these two products. And yeah, so that's for my girlies. But also, if you are a guy and you're suffering from pimples, please do get this. So yeah, and then this week I actually spoke to my financial advisor. Had a meeting with my financial advisor, and we were speaking about my finances, obviously. And also, there's a decision that I need to make around my finances. So I felt like if I spoke to him, then I can make an informed decision of that particular crisis that I'm in. And I'm very happy to say that he was able to assist me, and I think when I make this decision, it will be an informed one, and I do have assurance. And yeah, with money, I need assurance. I need someone to say, yeah, go for it because 1 2 3, or don't do it because 1 2 3. So with this decision, it was don't do it, because of this and this reason. So yeah. And then another thing that we spoke about, as I've said, we were speaking about my finances. He said to me that I have a full emergency fund, and it's time for me to stop saving. He said to me, I need to stop saving. Like, it's time for me now to move to investment. And I was like, what is this guy saying? Like, I'm not, is he hearing himself as a financial advisor? Like, you're telling me that I need to stop. Let me go look at my bacon. I'll be back. Sorry about that. Also, this is a very nice setting. I think this is a very nice setting for chatting, but also I need to ask my landlord to remove that. Now can I please brag? Yeah, can I just brag? I have a very present landlord. Like, my landlord, they are present. I remember this one time when I was going to work, because I leave very early, so I was taking out the dustbin and I saw like 2 rats, and I screamed. And then after, I was like, I'm texting him. So I texted him. I was like, hey, I just saw amakundwane, and I feel like they're gonna make babies and all of that, so can you please just look into that? It was on a Friday, right? Because that's when we normally get to take out the trash. On a Saturday, if I tell you guys, on a Saturday, they came with the pest and control guys. And I was just like, look at this. The time when I own property, I'm going to be like them. Like, I want to be present with my property. It has to be well taken care of. Like, what you're paying for, you need to see your money. And even what we are paying for and what they're doing, child, like, I'm just like, you guys are like the gurus. You need to conduct a seminar of how to manage property, because they are doing it so well. So they came with the pest and control guys, and I haven't seen even Ikundwani passing by. I haven't seen it. So I'm just like, you know what? So I know I'm just gonna talk to him about it, and I'm hoping that he gets to take care of it. Even now, it's a weekend, and you would swear that I live in a suburb. Like, you would say that right now, Mandy, you live in a suburb. Not even, I live in a township, but it's so peaceful. And you know what, I'll forever be grateful to my colleague who plugged me with this place. Like, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I think when I moved from town in the suburbs where I was staying, moving to here, and when I got this place, I was like, you know what, I will move when I buy my own house, or when I'm married and someone is like, okay, now we need to get our own place, the both of us, then that's the only time I'll move. But for now, this place as a girly, it's the place for me. I'm very safe, I'm very secured, and I have, two landlords who are just present, like they're just there. So yeah, I'll talk to him about that so that we can have a nice setting. So yeah, enough about that. So as I was saying, I spoke to my financial advisor, and after we were done chatting, he was just like, you need to start investing. You have a lot on your savings, and if you are saying that you are saving this money for your emergency fund, then your emergency is already funded. Like you even exceeded your emergency fund. And I'm just like, I haven't even started with the emergency fund. Like, what are you trying to say? And it's like, the savings that you have, they are enough. And I was just like, this whole week I've been like, I'm like, do I start with investing? Do I not start with investing? Because he advised me that I need to start looking at what are these investments called? The tax-free savings. Yeah, the tax-free savings account, where the capped amount a year is 34,000. And he was like, you need to look at that, just maybe for 3 years. And I was just like, is this guy serious? Like, I need to stop saving. And he's telling me now that my emergency is fully funded. And I've been in conflict with that, with me saying like, your emergency fund is fully funded. And when I calculated, because I think the mistake that I made, I took my whole salary and I was like, I want to have that for 6 months. So he was like to me, that is then not an emergency fund. Do you understand that an emergency fund, you need to look at your bills? Like, if you're paying your rent, it's food, it's you're paying insurance, you're paying Wi-Fi. We're not even gonna count transport, because you are thinking that maybe you lost your job. But he was then like, transport, and then some outing money, then you need to count that, and then you need to multiply that by 6 months, and then that is your emergency fund, not your salary. And I was just like, okay, I'm just like, okay. But then after the call, I was like, yo, guys, like, I'm done. So it's something that I haven't celebrated, because I haven't accepted that I'm done with my emergency fund. And then another thing that I feel like I also need to do is, okay, can I at least stop saving like December, and then next year, then after the tax, is it the tax year or what, after that period, and then like March, then I can start with the TFSA, yeah, the tax-free savings account. Then I can start with it. So yeah, I've just been in conflict with that. And that actually made me to think about our money habits, where our money habits come from. And when I look at myself and how I treat money, it comes both from my mom and my dad. My mom and dad, they are divorced, and I wouldn't say that I grew up in a very like loving family where my parents are all lovey-dovey. And when I have to think about most of their arguments, it would revolve around money. And then when I also have to reflect the kind of person my mom was, she was too kind to an extent that my dad was using her, if I can put it that way. And also her being too kind, other family members, they also ended up using her, because she was good with paying her debts, she was good with paying her accounts. And then you find that when the other family members, like, they want to take clothes and whatnot, they would ask to use her account, and then they wouldn't pay. And I remember my mom saying to me that, because I was just like, how come you're giving this one an account for them to buy for their kids, whereas we, your kids, we don't even wear from Foschini, we don't even wear from Exit, but these people are using, like, you're using my mom's account, and you're dressed all nice. And my mom was like, Nomcebo, I want to sleep. Mina ngifuna ukulala ebusuku. Angifuni abantu abazongivusa ekuseni or abazoyenza, ngifuna ukulala ebusuku. And I think that instilled a fear on me to say, oh my God, so if you have debts, then it means you're not going to sleep. You're going to be tossing and turning, because the picture that she created, I was like, okay, wait. I think I love my sleep and I want to sleep. No, I don't want to be tossing and turning. And yeah, so she has always been that person. So if they wouldn't pay, she would pay. And then my dad was a spender, and he didn't have to think twice. But you'd find that in the middle of the month, when he doesn't have money, he would then ask my mom, the same person that who's not working, but she, she would hustle, because she used to sell iacha, ice cream and all of that. She was just frugal with not frugal, but she was just intentional with how she would spend her money. So he would then ask for money for petrol from her and all of that. And I was just like, so that fear that my mom had, and also her, being helpful and all of that, I've identified that in me. Because when I reflect on my relationships, I'm just like, I've been that girlfriend. I've been that girlfriend where you'd be like, I'm going through this, and even someone wouldn't even be asking me to assist, but because I have that, because I'm just like, I want you to sleep, I don't want you to suffer, because I know how bad it is not to have money or not to have a petrol. Because if my dad didn't have petrol and my mom would just keep quiet, then hell will break loose, you get me? So it would be that thing of, I don't want that in my relationship. And what would I do? I would give money. I would give, and one thing that I would demand, then, my guy, you're gonna pay me back. Like, you're gonna pay me back my money. That one, you are going to pay me back, and I'm gonna want it. But for the fact that I kept on giving, it wasn't normal. Wasn't normal, because it's not from me, but because of my past and how the type of home that I was raised in, because I saw that in my mom. And I think that's the reason why I'm even attending therapy. I just want to stop all of that, to say that when you're in a relationship, and when someone is in, maybe, now let's talk about finances, when someone has a financial problem on that day, because let's be honest, we all have bad days, especially with finances, where you find that someone doesn't have money for petrol, or someone doesn't have this. It does not mean that you should step in. They don't have money for petrol, okay, like, cool, let that person figure it out on their own. Sorry, I have flu. Let that person figure it out on their own, and you really don't have to step in. And I was just like, even now, when my financial advisor told me that you have enough on your savings, me now, the reason why I keep I want my saving, I want my emergency fund to be this big, it's because I'm still thinking about what my mom said when she said to me, she wants to sleep at night. She doesn't want to be tossing and turning. She doesn't want people to be knocking at her door. She doesn't want lawyers to be following her. She doesn't want to have a bad credit. So I'm just like, and also I know how it is to lose a job and to be unemployed. So I'm also like, I don't want to be that. Like, I don't want to be that. And I don't want to live that life of, maybe I do have a debt, for example, I'm paying game, and you find that maybe now I'm unemployed and now I can't pay game, then that equals to me not sleeping, then that also equals to lawyers coming in. Now I'm just making an example of the picture that my mom painted, and that is why I'm just like, I don't want debt. Even for me, I think I did share the story that for my credit to increase, I wouldn't say that I was the one who increased my credit. I was bold enough to use my name and take a loan for someone. So I would use my name, and I would cross fingers that, this person, like, they better pay, because now if they don't pay, like, what's going to happen, because if you were to say to me right now, go and take a loan, go and take a loan, the loan is for you, I would can I say this in Zulu? But ngaquma. You know maquma when like sis when like I would do that because I am so scared of debt. I'm so scared of debt. But since I've exposed myself to, learning about finances, listening to podcasts, I've learned to understand that there's good debt and there's bad debt, and there is nothing wrong with debt as long as you're using it for, a good thing. And I think my mom, the picture that she was painting, she wanted us to understand like why these family members are using her cards and why she is not buying the clothes for us. It not that she wanted to scare us, but that's how it has always been with me. But now I've learned to understand that it's not like that, and it's okay to have debt, but it has to be a good debt. And I'm also just reflecting on other people's life. You find that now, let's say you grew up in a home where spending was normal. You grew up in a home where if your mom has the last 1,000, that 1,000 rand, what you are going to do, you are going to buy a Nike Techie. That 1,000 that is like the last one, you are going to go to Spur, you are going to spend it. And she would tell you, this is my last 1,000, masambi sweta, let's go and eat, let's go and, so like when you are an adult, if you also have like that 1,000, you'd feel like, man, 1,000, that is money for me to spend, that is money for me to go buy a techie. And when you actually get to sit down, do you actually need that techie? No. And I'm also reading a book, and one of the things that the writer was speaking about was that you find that some people in their homes, my mom, when I spoke about my mom and dad, like where their fights would come from money, you find that someone is not happy in their home, and instead of fixing the marriage or even fighting about it, what does that person do? They're like, what, in order for me to feel okay, let me go for retail therapy. So when you are a child, when you are me, you're just like, oh, okay, if I have problems, what do I need to do? Retail therapy. I need to go buy things for me to be okay. And even if I have debt, like that is okay, and right now I'm also just reflecting how our kids, they have social media. You find that some people, they joke around to say 1,000 if I'm 100 rand. It's not the same, guys, and we have normalized that to say 1,000, it's the same thing as having 100 rand, and which then equates to you don't have nothing, so just go and spend that money. We have young ones who are on social media and they're also learning that, oh, okay, I have 100 rand, that is nothing, spend that money. Then they're going to spend it. Also you as a mom or as a father or whoever, you're just telling your kids that when you go and shop, not telling them, but when you go and shop, you're not making them aware that, look at the price, let's check, I'm a special. No, kids are just bayafaka. Mina, my mom would sit with the paper. She would sit with the paper. Let's say you save. I remember very well because we used to stay very close to you save. She would sit with that paper. She would compare. She would write down. She would circle on the paper. And I was like, oh, okay, you need to look out for special, you need to look out for the price. But you find that there are some of us who are not from those homes where you just spend like, that is your money habit. You grew up with it. Your mom or your dad or whoever that was raising you, they didn't look at the prices, they didn't look at the tags, and shopping, or rather spending money the way that they spent money, when you get to realize now, it's just like you're also living the same way. You are also living the same way. I was talking to a colleague, and one time this colleague was like so the parents, they have money, they are moneyed, and obviously if your parents are moneyed and you are a teacher, those are two salaries, and now that colleague is living as if now, she is still at home. Remember, at home they have money, but now she's no longer at home and she stays where she stays. Now she has to compare to say, how my parents were spending and how they were living with this salary that I'm earning. It's not a lot. I mean, it's not the same. It's not the same, because maybe you find that 5K for your parents, it was 5K for them to just go out, just for fun, 5K. But now when you stay alone and you're earning as a teacher, you're not earning the same way that your parents were earning. 5K, the moment you spend 5K as something that is just for fun, I'm telling you, you are going to have a very hard month, because you'll be like, when is payday? So our money habits and how we got to grow up, it has so much influence, to an extent where I'm just like, I need to unlearn some of the things. I need to let the fear down. My mother instilled fear with money on me. And I was talking to my friend before we closed, and she was like to me, she doesn't have a credit record because she is scared of debt. So my colleague was just like, she is scared of taking debt, but also like she's now understanding that she needs credit, because let's be honest, we are growing, guys, and chances are when you reach your 30s, you are going to need that credit and you cannot afford to mess it up. So yeah, you know what, everything that happened in our childhood, somehow it does catch up, and some of the decisions or things that we are doing as adults, you just need to think and reflect as to where are they coming from. You have people, when they grew up, they knew that if we don't have something at home, then I need to go and next door. If right now I were to run out of sugar, I have such a kind neighbor, but if I were to run out of sugar, I wouldn't dare go and knock and be like, sugar like just for today. I wouldn't do that, because I'm not used to that. My mom, yo, guys, my mom, yo, and I know she, she's so kind, and she's just, I got time to see, though, yo, she doesn't like things, and hence me, but I'm just trying to outlearn some of the things. But some of the things I'm just like, I'm so grateful. So she was that, like, if we don't have something, we don't have that thing, and we will have to wait until we are able to get it. And then you'll find that when you visit other houses, if they don't have sugar, or even you have a neighbor, if you don't have a sugar, like uzokumemeza and be like, Mandy, can I please have sugar? And you're just like, are you asking for sugar? Like, sugar, is that allowed? Ngicela impuphu. Like, some people, they're okay with that. And you find that also when you also grow up, you're exactly as what your mom taught you. If you don't have something, you're not scared to go to your neighbor and knock. If, let's say, you're running out of money, you are not scared. And that is how people actually start going to Abu Mashonisa. Because you don't have money, you don't have sugar. It starts with food. That's how I would like to see it. It starts with food. You don't have sugar, you don't have impupu, and then that person gives you. But now when it comes to money, and then someone just knocks in the morning and be like, like 50 rand afternoon, that person will give you. But then if you keep on coming back, then that person can say to you, okay, you know what, I know Umashonisa who is just around, and a loan shark, and you can actually go and ask money from them, or I can go for you because I'm trusted, and then that's how it starts. That's how people get into Ambo Mashonisa. You saw your mom borrowing, you saw your mom going to Mashonisa lending money, and when you're also an adult, you feel like if you don't have money, it's actually okay for you to go to that Mashonisa and be like, can I please have a 50 rand? I'll pay you back when I come back from work, or I'll pay you back month end. You're not even thinking that this money comes back with interest, because it was okay for your mom, and then or your dad or whoever, then you feel like it's also okay for you, but only just to find that it's not okay, and there are so many things, habits, not only money, since I also included food, but There's just so many habits that our parents, in a way, they never taught us, but we just saw it and we felt like, you will continue that habit, because sometimes you'd find that you don't even have money to go to school, and she'd be like, "I man hambela pagasipho," and when you get kasipho, jealousy pag 50 rand. You're a child and you're like, okay, I can go to Sipo, who's a loan shark, and gets a 50 rand, and you're definitely gonna get it. So when you also, as an adult, going through that phase where you like, you don't have money, but then you remember that there are people who are like Sipo who actually can lend you money, but then that money will paid month end, and that is how some people actually get to live, and that is how the habits actually starts. But we can't blame our parents, we can't blame them, because I mean, Nabo, they were also doing things that they saw from their parents, or it was something that they also got to start, mainly because maybe, it was the marriage, like my mom, where you find that, the husband is not supportive enough, and the husband fights you when you don't have money. Now you need to see where you are going to get that money, or you have family members who are not thoughtful, and they think just because you're good with credit, then they can borrow your credit, and then they're not gonna pay it back because you're kind. You also get to pay it. So some things, it's not that they also learned it from their parents. It's because of that particular situation maybe that they're in that time. So yeah, money habits, guys. Money habits, it's something that we need to watch out for, because apparently my emergency fund is fully funded, and I've been trying to come in terms with that. And I just really hope that I'm able to accept when I get paid that I have an emergency fund. I don't need to fund it. But also a part of me is just like, let me just wait for December, and then I'll start on a clean slate when the financial year ends, which it ends Feb, right? And then it starts on the 1st of March. So then March, I will then start looking at the tax-free savings account. I don't know, how's that idea? It's not bad. I don't feel like it's bad. I don't feel like it's bad. Plus, I will have, you know, so much in my emergency fund, which is what I want, So yeah, I hope my financial advisor doesn't see this. I hope he doesn't see this. So yeah. And then another thing that I wanted to speak about, this weather. This weather, what's happening in South Africa, especially Joburg. Oh, guys, I've been catching flu like I don't know what. I've been catching flu, and it's so bad. Now I'm healing, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's coming back. Also, ngihamba ngeenyawo. I'm not wearing any shoes. Maybe that's also a reason. But it's a lot, guys. But we are going to learn. The journey is not easy, but we will get there. Like, we will definitely get there. We don't have to. We don't have to stress. We don't have to, you know um I don't know, like, we don't have to panic. It's gonna be okay. And I always say this to myself. I'm just like, Nomkebo, for as long as you are willing to learn, for as long as you are willing to take the L's, especially with finances, then it's okay, mama. You are going to get there, and you might not see the picture, but definitely you will get there. And when you get there, it's gonna be like you are going to be the happiest. So yeah, I think right now I'm just reflecting on my habits with money, where they're coming from, what is it that I need to change, and also just accepting that change is okay, and also accepting that, there comes a time in life where something has to end, and you have to start with a new beginning. Like myself, it's time for me to stop using banks for my money, and it's now time to open up to investments, and let's see what that world gets to bring. Because right now, if you were to ask me which bank has the best interest rates, I know all the banks that have the best interest rates, namely Time Bank and African Bank. They have the best. And then if you were to ask me, investments, now I would just shut off. And this week I've also been teaching myself about investments, looking at your Alan Gray, looking at your what's this, your Frank, I've just been teaching myself, maybe so that I get into it. But I'm definitely starting next year. So yeah. Anyways, bye Bliss Family. Thank you so much for listening to my yep. And also tell me about your money habits. Like, have you identified them? Is there anything that you are changing, or you just like, my money habits are good and everything that I learned from my parents, it's good and there is nothing that I need to change. And yeah. And that's it for me, Bliss Family. Have yourselves a great Saturday. And once again, thank you so much for the 928 subbies. Bye.